Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Vita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Vita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda So we're reading today from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Madhya Leela Chapter 8, text number 140, talks between the Lord and Ramananda Roy. Text 40 is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'll just chant the Sanskrit in the verse. Sasame abhir bhushari smayamana mukambhuja pitambara sragvi sakshan mano manamat manmata. Translation. When Krishna left the rasa dance, the gopis became very morose. And when they were grieving, Krishna reappeared dressed in yellow garments. Wearing a flower garland and smiling, he was attractive even to Cupid. In this way, Krishna appeared among the gopis. This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-2. I'll read the verse again. When Krishna left the Rasa Leela dance, the gopis became very morose. And when they were grieving, Krishna reappeared dressed in yellow garments. Wearing a flower garland and smiling, he was attractive even to Cupid. In this way, Krishna appeared among the gopis. There's no purport. Text 141. Nana Bhaktera Rasamrita Nana Vidahaya Sesabaras Samritera Vishaya Ashraya. Each and every devotee has a certain type of transcendental mellow in relation to Krishna. However, in all transcendental relationships, the devotee is the worshipper, Ashraya, and Krishna is the object of worship, Vishaya. So it's described that just like a seed, seeds may look similar when they're not sprouted, but every seed is programmed in a certain way to sprout in a certain flower or tree or creeper. So just like that, we all have some spiritual nature that is not visible yet. As we do devotional service, we start to uncover some of the material conditioning, the layers of false ego. And the real person, the real ego, the real soul starts to very gradually manifest. So this verse makes that point that each and every devotee has a certain type of transcendental mellow relationship to Krishna. Text number 142. Akila Rasamrita Murti Ramara Ruchi Ruda Tara Bali Kalita Shamalito Radha Priyan Vidur Yayati. Translation. Let Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be glorified. By virtue of his expanding, attractive features, he subjugated the gopis named Taraka and Pali and absorbed Shama and Lalita. He is the most attractive lover of Srimati Radharani and is the reservoir of pleasure for all devotional mellows. Purport. Everyone has a particular transcendental mellow by which he loves and serves Krishna. Krishna is the most attractive feature for every kind of devotee. He is there called Akila Rasamrita Murti, the transcendental form of attraction for all kinds of devotees, whether the devotee be in Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Madhuryaras, or Vatsalyaras. This is the opening verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. Text 143. Sringara Rasa Raja Maya Murti Dara Ata Eva Ata Atma Paryantas Sarvachita Hara. Krishna is all attractive for all devotional mellows because he is the personification of the conjugal mellow. Krishna is attractive not only to all the devotees but to himself as well. Then there's a long text 144. Vishveshamanu Ranjaner Nena Jayananandam Indivara Srini Shamala Kamaler Upayanangir An Gotsavam Swachandam Rajas Sundaribir Abhita Pratyangam Alingita Sringara Sakshi Murtimami Madho Mugdo Hari Kridati. Translation. My dear friends, just see how Sri Krishna is enjoying the season of spring. With the gopis embracing each of his limbs, he is like the amorous love personified. With his transcendental pastimes, he enlivens the gopis and the entire creation. With his soft bluish black arms and legs, which resemble blue lotus flowers, he has created a festival for Cupid. Purport. This is a verse from the Gita Govinda 1:11. See also the Caitanya Charitamrta, Amrita, Adi Lila, chapter 4, text 244. So spring is happening now also here. Text 145. Lakshmi Kantadi Avatar Hara Hare Mana Lakshmi Adi Nari Ganer Kare Akarshana. Translation. He attracts Narayan, the incarnation of Shankarshan, and the husband of the goddess of fortune. He attracts not only Narayan but all women, headed by the goddess of fortune, the consort of Narayan. Vijat, this is a verse from text 146. Vijatma me eor didrikshuna Mayo panita bhuvi dharma guptaye kalavatir nav avadir bar shuran havdeya bhuyas sari itam antime. Translation. Addressing Krishna and Arjuna, Lord Mahavishnu, the Mahapurush, said, I wanted to see both of you, therefore I have brought the sons of the Brahmana here. Both of you have appeared in the material world to re-establish religious principles, and you have both appeared here with all your potencies. After killing all the demons, please quickly return to the spiritual world. Purport, this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:89-58. Concerning Krishna's endeavor to take Arjuna beyond the material universe when Arjuna was searching for the sons of a Brahmana. Lord Mahavishnu, who is situated beyond the material world, was also attracted by the bodily features of Krishna. Mahavishnu had actually stolen the sons of the Brahmana in Dwarka so that Krishna and Arjuna would come and visit him. This verse is quoted to show that Krishna is so attractive that he attracts Mahavishnu. Kasyanu Bhavos Shadeva Vidmade Tavangi Renu Sparshadhikara Vidvanchaya Sri Lalan Acharat Kapo Vihaya Kaman Shuchiram Ritadvata. Translation, O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kaliya attained to such an opportunity to be touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all other desires and taking austere vows. Indeed, we do not know how this serpent Kaliya got such an opportunity. Purport, this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:16-36 was spoken by the wives of the Kaliya demon. Next 148. Apana madhurye hare, apana ramana, apana panichaye, karite alingana. Translation, Lord Krishna's sweetness is so attractive that it steals away his own mind. Thus he even wants to embrace himself. So, in the material world we see a perverted reflection of this. Krishna is actually beautiful enough that he's justified to want to embrace himself. But in the material world, where, you have material bodies that are made of blood, guts, that when the body dies it smells horrible and it's eaten by worms or vultures or burned because it's so unsavory. So, but someone that's narcissistic who, in Maya, thinks they're so beautiful, and in our modern society, people take so much effort to decorate the body, to get facelifts and breast enlargements, and so many things to try to make the body better than it really is. And we put so much energy in the body, spend so much time in the mirror, so we forget Krishna, and that's why we have the deity worship. We have the deities that are so beautiful, and when the pujaris worship the deities, they're transferring their attention to Krishna, who's the Rasaraj, he's the king of all mellows, he's the most attractive. Text number 149. Abharakalita purvakascha Matarakari Purati Mama Garyanesha Madhu Huyapura Hayamahama Bihanta Prekshayam Lubda Cheta Sarabhasam Upabhoktum Kamaye Radhikeva. Translation: upon seeing his own reflection in the bejeweled pillar of his Dwarka palace, Krishna desired to embrace it, saying, "Alas, I have never seen such a beautiful person before." No, I'm sorry. I've never seen such a person before. Who is he? Just by seeing him, I have become eager to embrace him, exactly like Srimati Radharani. This is a verse from Srila Rupa Goswami's Lalita Madhava 834. Text 150. Eta Sangsepe Kahila Krishnera Swarup Ebe Sangsepe Kahi Shuna Radhatatva Rup. Sri Ramananda Roy then said, I have thus briefly explained the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now let me describe the position of Srimati Radharani. Vishnera Ananta Shakti Tate Hina Pradhana Shik Shakti Maya Shakti Jiva Shakti Nama. Krishna has unlimited potencies which can be divided into three main parts. They are the spiritual potency, the material potency, and the marginal potency, which is known as living entities. Next verse. Antaranga Bahiranga Tatasta Kayare Antaranga Swarup Shakti Sabara Upari. In other words, these are all potencies of God, internal, external, and marginal. However, the internal potency is the Lord's personal energy and stands over the other two. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta Sri Dragnakya Tatapara Avidya Karma Samjanya Tritiya Shaktir Ishite. Translation: the original potency of Lord Vishnu is spiritual, is superior or spiritual. Living entity actually belongs to that superior energy, but there is another energy called the material energy, and this third energy is full of ignorance. This is quoted from the Vishnu Purana 6.761. Satchidananda Maya Krishnera Swarupa Ateva Swarupa Shakti Ayatina Rupa. Originally, Lord Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, the transcendental form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Therefore, his personal potency, the internal potency, has three different forms. Anandam She Ladini, Sadam She Sandini, Shidam She Samvid, Yarijana Karimani. Ladini is his aspect of bliss. Sandini, or eternal existence, and Samvid, of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. Ladini, Sandini, Samvid, Swayeka Sarva Samsraye. Lada Tapa Kari Mishra Dvai Naguna Varjite. Translation: my dear Lord, you are the transcendental reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Your pleasure potency, existence potency, and knowledge potency are actually all one spiritual internal potency. The conditioned soul, although actually spiritual, experiences sometimes pleasure, sometimes pain and sometimes a mixture of pain and pleasure. This is due to his being touched by matter. However, you are above all material qualities. These are not found in you. Your superior spiritual potency is completely transcendental, and for you there is no such thing as relative pleasure, pleasure mixed with pain, or pleasure or pain itself. This is a quotation from the Vishnu Purana, 1:1269. So sometimes people in the material world say that you can't really experience pleasure until you've had pain, and pleasure is such a contrast to the pain that it's very relishable. This is a mundane conception. In this verse, it says there's no such thing as relative pleasure, pleasure mixed with pain, or pleasure itself. Spiritual pleasure is anandam buddhi vardhanam. It's ever expanding, whereas material pleasure wears out very quickly. Even we have some delicious food, but if we gorge ourselves, after a while we get full. We can't enjoy it. The pleasure ceases. If someone forces us to eat more than we can handle, then that pleasure turns into pain. So the material pleasure is completely different from the transcendental pleasure. Text 157. Krishna ke ladeta te nama ladini se shakti dvare sukha asvade apani. The potency called Ladini gives Krishna transcendental pleasure. Through this pleasure potency, Krishna personally tastes all spiritual pleasure. Sukha Rupa Krishna Kare Sukha Vadan Bhaktagane Sukha Dite Ladini Karan. Lord Krishna tastes all kinds of transcendental happiness, although he himself is happiness personified. The pleasure relished by his pure devotee is also manifest in his pleasure potency, manifest by his pleasure potency. Ladinira saramsha tara premanam ananda chinmaya rasa premera agyan. The most essential part of this pleasure potency is love of Godhead, prema. Consequently, the explanation of love of Godhead is also a transcendental mellow, full of pleasure. Premera paramasara mahabhava jani se mahabhava rupa takarani. The essential part of love of God is called Mahabhav, transcendental ecstasy, and that ecstasy is represented by Srimati Radharani. 161. Tayor api ubayor madhye Adhika sarvatadhika Mahabhava sarupeyam Gunir ativarishvariyasi. Among the gopis of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani and another gopi are considered chief. However, when we compare the gopis, it appears that Srimati Radharani is the most important because her real feature expresses the highest ecstasy of love. The ecstasy of love experienced by other gopis cannot be compared to that of Srimati Radharani. Purport. This is a quotation from Srila Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Nilamani.
When you're talking, you can't even understand a minister's word. You got to talk more into the microphone, please.
Okay. Prema Rasarupa Dehi Prema Vihavita Krishnara Prayasi Shrestha Jagate Vidita. The body of Srimati Radharani is the veritable transformation of love of Godhead. She is the dearmost friend of Krishna, and this is known throughout the world. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prati.
It's not you, it's the sound system's broken.
Apparently the sound system is broken, so I apologize if the sound is not working. So I guess I'll continue. I don't know. Should I continue?
That should be better now. These are sound out, but the main system's broken.
Well, I mean, you can keep going to like 15 for questions. We can ask questions at 8:15. You can keep reading.
Yeah, you're getting sound.
We hear it through the building.
But it was like a feedback, and when I walked in, you couldn't hear a word he was saying. It's just like boo, 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 boo.
I'm speaking in Eskimo.
No, he just told me to put it lower. That's part of the problem.
Lower?
That's why, yeah, that's why.
Okay, got it. Because I can't hear.
So I should be close to it or not close to it?
He's the pro right there.
I know.
All right, well,
Sorry to trouble you, bro. It should be okay.
he just told me to move down. I didn't go there. I just took it over there. Okay, sorry. I apologize.
Prema Sarupa Deha Prema Vibhavita Krishnara Prayasi Shrestha Jagate Vidita. The body of Srimati Radharani is the veritable transformation of love of Godhead. She is the dearmost friend of Krishna, and this is known throughout the world. Text 163. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prati Prabhavitabhis Tabirya Eva Nija Rupataya Kala Vi Goloka Eva Nilasat Akilabhabuto Govindamadi Pusham Tamam Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency, Ladini. Their companions are her confidants, who embody extensions of her bodily form, and who are imbued with and permeated with ever-blissful spiritual ras. This is a quotation from Brahma Samhita 537. Sema Bhava Haya Chintamani Sara Krishna Vansha Purnakare Ekarya Tanra. That supreme ecstasy of Srimati Radharani is the essence of spiritual life. Her only business is to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. Ma Bhava Chintamani Radhara Swarup Lalita Dishaki Tanra Kaya Yuharup. Srimati Radharani is the topmost spiritual gem, and all the gopis, Lalita, Vishaka, and so on, are expansions of her spiritual body. Radha Prati Krishna Seya Su Gandhi Udvartan Sate Ati Sugandhi Deha Ujjalavaran. Srimati Radharani's transcendental body is brilliant in luster and full of all transcendental flavors. Lord Krishna's affection for her is like a perfumed massage. Sugandhi Udvartana refers to a paste made of several perfumes and flavored oils. This paste is massaged all over the body, and this way the body's dirt and perspiration are removed. Srimati Radharani's body is automatically perfumed, but when her body is massaged with the scented paste of Lord Krishna's affection, her entire body is doubly perfumed and made brilliant and lustrous. This is the beginning of Krishna Das Kaviraj's description of Srimati Radharani's transcendental body. This description is based on the book known as Prema Bhoja Maranda, compiled by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Srila Kaviraj Goswami's descriptions in verses 165 to 181 are based on this book. A translation of the original Sanskrit as described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur reads as follows. Quote, the love of the gopis for Krishna is full of transcendental ecstasy. It appears to be a brilliant jewel, and enlightened by such a transcendental jewel, Radharani's body is further perfumed and decorated with kumkum. In the morning her body is bathed in the nectar of compassion, in the afternoon in the nectar of youth, and the evening in the nectar of luster itself. In this way the bathing is performed and her body becomes as brilliant as the Chintamani jewel. Her dress is composed of various kinds of silken garments, which may be compared to her natural shyness. Her beauty is more and more enhanced, being decorated with kumkum, which is compared to beauty itself, and with blackish musk, which is compared to conjugal love. Thus her body is decorated with different colors. The kumkum is red, the musk is black. Her ornaments embody the natural symptoms of beauty: trembling, tears, jubilation, stunning perspiration, faltering of the voice, bodily redness, madness, and dullness. In this way the entire body is bedecked with these 9 different jewels. Over and above this, the beauty of her body is enhanced by her transcendental qualities, which hang like a flower garland on her body. The ecstasy of love for Krishna is known as dhira and adhira, sober and restless. Such ecstasy constitutes the covering of Srimati Radharani's body, and is adorned by camphor. Her transcendental anger toward Krishna is embodied as the arrangement of her hair on her head, and the tilak of her great fortune shines on her beautiful forehead. The earrings of Srimati Radharani are the holy names of Krishna, as well as the hearing of his name and fame. Her lips are always reddish due to the betel nut of ecstatic affection for Krishna. The black ointment around her eyes is her tricky behavior with Krishna brought about by love. Her joking with Krishna, gentle smiling, is the camphor with which she is perfumed. She sleeps in her room with the aroma of pride. And when she lies down in her bed, the transcendental variety of her loving ecstasies is like a jeweled locket in the midst of her necklace of separation. Her transcendental breasts are covered by her sari in the form of affection and anger toward Krishna. She has a stringed instrument known as a kachapi veena, which is the fame and fortune that actually dries up the faces and breasts of the other gopis. She always keeps her hands on the shoulder of her gopi friend, who is compared to her youthful beauty, and although she is highly qualified, With so many spiritual assets, she is nonetheless affected by Kuba, known as Krishna, the Kuba known as Krishna. Thus, she is defeated. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami offers his respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani, taking a straw in his mouth. Needy praise, O Gandharvika, Srimati Radharani, just as the Lord Krishna never rejects a surrendered soul, please don't reject me. This is a summary translation of the Premam Bhoja Maranda, which Kaviraj Goswami quotes. This is a very elevated part of the Caitanya Caritamrta, very poetic. I mean, it's very hard to understand by most of us. Anybody have any comments or questions? I can just keep reading till 8:30. Karunyamita daya snana pratama.
Could you explain the difference between the transcendental love that Radha and Krishna are exchanging here and the mundane relationship of lust between a young man and a young girl?
No, I can't. I mean, there's such an obvious difference. I mean, like the material relations are like lead or some very uninspiring substance, whereas the loving relationships of Krishna and the gopis is like gold. And Lord Caitanya appears like molten gold, his color. So it's, you melt lead, and it might look a little bit better than solid lead, but it's nothing like molten gold. So, there's various descriptions like this which give some idea of the difference. Srimati Radharani takes her first bath in the shower of the nectar of compassion. She takes her second bath in the nectar of youth. Purport: Srimati Radharani first smears her body with the paste of affection for Krishna. She then takes her bath in the water of mercy. After passing the Poganda age from 5 to 10 years, Srimati Radharani first appears as mercy. The second bath, taken at noon, is taken in the water of Caitanya, or the nectar of youth. This is the actual expression of her new youthfulness. 168. Lavanyamrita dharaya tad upari nasnan nija vaja shama vasasati paridan. After a midday bath, Radharani takes another bath in the nectar of bodily luster, and she puts on the garment of shyness, which is exactly like a black silk sari. Purport: over and above the other baths, the bath taken in the afternoon is taken in the nectar of full beauty. This nectar represents the personal quality of beauty and luster. There are 3 baths in different kinds of water. Radharani then puts on 2 dresses, a lower and upper dress. The upper dress is her attachment for Krishna, and the lower dress is her shyness. The lower portion is compared to a blackish silk garment or a bluish sari, and her upper garment is pinkish. That pink garment is her affection and attraction for Krishna. Krishna Anuraga Dvitiya Aruna Vasana Pranayamana Kanchulikaya Vaksha Achedana. Srimati Radharani's affection for Krishna is the upper garment, which is pinkish in color. She then covers her breast with another garment comprised of affection and anger toward Krishna. Sandaya Kunkuma Saki Pranaya Chandana Smita Kanti Karpuratine Ange Videvana. Srimati Radharani's personal beauty is compared to the reddish powder known as kunkum. Her affection for her associates is compared to sandalwood pulp, and the sweetness of her smile is compared to camphor. All these combined together are smeared all over her body. Krishna Valarasa Mriga Madhabara Se Mriga Madhavi Chitrita Kadevara. Conjugal love for Krishna is just like an abundance of musk. By that musk, her whole body is decorated. Prachana Manavamya Damila Vinyasa Dira Dirak Makaguna Ange Patavasa. Covered anger and craftiness can constitute the arrangement of her hair. The quality of anger due to jealousy is just like the silk covering her body. Raga Tambula Rage Adara Ujvala Prema Kutila Netra Yugale Kajala. Her attachment for Krishna is the reddish color of betel nuts on her brilliant lips. Her double dealings in loving affairs are just like the black ointment around her eyes. In the material world, double dealings are really repulsive, but Radharani's double dealings are wonderful. Sudipta Satvika Baba Harshadi Sanchari Desaba Baba Bhushana Sabhayange Vari. The decorated ornaments on her body are the blazing ecstasies of goodness. And these constantly existing ecstasies are headed by jubilation. All these ecstasies are like ornaments all over her body. Hila kinchi tadi bhava vimshati bhusita gunasreni pushpamala sarvange purita. These bodily ornaments constitute 20 kinds of ecstatic symptoms, beginning with Kila Kinchita. Her transcendental qualities are the flower garland hanging in fullness over her body. Purport: the 20 different moods headed by Kila Kinchita are described as follows. First, in connection with the body, there are bhava, ecstasy, hava, gestures, hela, negligence. In relation to the self, there are shobha, beauty, kanti, luster, dipti, brilliance, madhurya, sweetness, pragalbhata, impudence, audorya, magnanimity, and daya, patience. In relationships to nature, there are lila, pastimes, vilas, enjoyment, vichiti, breaking off, and vibrama, puzzlement. There are no English equivalents to the words kila kinchita, bhota yita, and kutamita. Flower garland constitutes the qualities of Srimati Radharani as described. It is divided into mental, verbal, and bodily parts. Her attitude of forgiveness and mercy is all mental. Her talks, which are very pleasing to the ear, are verbal. The physical qualities, age, beauty, luster, and grace are bodily qualities. Saubhagya tilaka charu lalate ujvala prema vaichita ratna vidaya tarala. The tilak of fortune is on her beautiful broad forehead. Her various loving affairs are a gem, and her heart is the locket. Majavayasa saki skande karaniyasa kristalila manavriti saki pasha pasha. Srimati Radharani's gopi friends are her mental activities, which are concentrated on the pastimes of Sri Krishna. She keeps her hand on the shoulder of a friend who represents youth. Purport: Radharani's 8 companions, Asta Saki, are different varieties of pleasure connected with the pastimes of Krishna. Following those pastimes of Sri Krishna are other activities which are represented by the assistance of the gopis. Nijanga Sarabalaye Garva Paryanga Tate Vasyache Sada Chinte Krishna Sangha. Srimati Radharani's bedstead is pride itself, and it is situated in the abode of her bodily aroma. She is always seated there thinking of Krishna's association. Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Gurudev ki.